to the statement made by the Secretary of State for Wales on the record on Sunday, who warned Tory rebels that they were playing with fire, as he put it. He told Mr Dimbleby, "We have to show our confidence, not only in the government, but also in John Major." A sort of double whammy confidence motion. But, and even more ominous to the Prime Minister, was the President of the Board of Trade, who said in ITN on Monday of this week, "The Prime Minister is entitled to our confidence now." Now, the Right Honourable Gentleman always chooses his words with care, so I do not believe that qualifying now was accidental. Now, but not necessarily forever. And that was not the only effort by the Right Honourable Gentleman, the Lord President. The President, I do beg his pardon, he's got an even grander title than the Lord President of the Council. The President of the Board of Trade, we'll call him Mr. President for short, I think, in the course of this exchange. He told BBC Radio, and this was presumably addressed to Conservative backbenchers, because it's in direct speech. It says, "If you vote against the Prime Minister and the government on Wednesday, on Thursday you have a policy vacuum at the centre of British decision-making of incalculable destructiveness." Gosh, what an awful prospect that would be. It's not just policies that are the problem. It's the Prime Minister as well. He has the precise opposite of the Midas touch. From Black Wednesday to the pit closure fiasco, and onwards to the mysteries of whatever the government's new economic policy is, his baleful presence courts disaster. I understand that even at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea fans would prefer that he stays away because most time he attends they lose. He contributed himself last month, to a book about football entitled "We'll Support You Evermore." Obviously not a Conservative Party publication. And, Madam Speaker, when we think of the Prime Minister's record since the election, a passage he wrote himself of his experience as a football supporter hits the truth with uncanny precision. And I quote the Right Honourable Gentleman, "After all, I have nearly 30 years behind me of high hopes at the start of a season, fading into disappointment with a string of disappointing results by January." But on this question of scaremongering, let me just take the Honourable Gentleman back to a document which I think he used to be connected with the Conservative Party organisation, with which he'll be familiar. The campaign guide for 1992. Now, I've been able to obtain one of the few remaining copies that's escaped, that has escaped the Central Office shredder. But I'm glad I've been able to have it, and I can make it available to honourable members who want to consult it. And in that campaign guide, which is to be used, indeed no doubt was used by honourable gentlemen and ladies opposite in their campaigning, it says no increases in VAT. It's on page 12 of the guide. And here we have the material part, and I quote, "Following a series of unfounded and irresponsible scares from the Labour Party," the Prime Minister is in bold letters here, so at least he's given status in the campaign guide. The Prime Minister has confirmed that the government has no intention of raising VAT further. Goes on to refer to a statement in the House. "There will be no VAT increase. Unlike the Labour Party, we have published our spending plans and there's no need to raise VAT to meet them." And for good measure, they quote the Right Honourable Gentleman, the member for Putney. When he was Chief Secretary of the Treasury, the government had no intention of widening the scope of VAT. Now, was that fair comment against the Labour Party that we were scaremongering at the time of the last election? What it might be. I'm dealing with the last one. No. I thought they might think that this was scaremongering. That was a nasty Labour Party, once again maliciously misinterpreting the honest and decent intentions of these credible and straightforward ministers who we have before us. But the public know what happened after the party opposite got returned, and they'll not be fooled so easily again. They know exactly what happened with VAT, up by 8%, going up to 17.5%, affecting every family in the land. And gosh, weren't we irresponsible to allege that? Weren't we wicked to make such scurrilous allegations against such honest and decent people? Menace of these men in the grey suits. After all, he was the beneficiary of their deadly manoeuvres against his predecessor. Although he no doubt reflects that while it took 10 years for them to move against her, after only 12 months they have him in their sights. But if I were he, Madam Speaker, I would worry most if they sought to reassure me. Most of all, I think I would worry if they sought to demonstrate their solidarity with a man in a spot of bother by giving him a present. Perhaps a watch inscribed, "Don't let the buggers let you down." After all, Madam Speaker, it does appear to be a coded message that it's time for an early and a swift departure.